Hi there, this is Billy Earl Amos, and this is Eastern Shore Politics. Brad Gillis is our guest today. He is running for county council in the at-large position. There's lots of people involved, but I want to thank you for coming by. I know this is a hectic time for you. You've got to be 20 places at one time,
Sure.
But thanks for taking the time to come see us.
It's a privilege.
Wonderful. Your family goes back a long way here. Tell us a little bit about that history and about how you got to the point where public office made sense for you.
Sure. I appreciate the opportunity again. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
I've been going through a journey in this campaign. It's been very eye-opening and
Learning experience.
Quite honestly, a lot of fun. My family goes back over 5 generations.
Wow.
We owned actually the building that I'm currently in.
Grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BL Gillis General Store. So that was my, I think, 5-time great uncle, which is pretty awesome, right?
Yep.
My grandfather. So I'm a son of an entrepreneur and also an educator. My mom taught 3rd grade at North Salisbury Elementary School.
Okay.
For over 3 decades. My dad is an entrepreneur, and he was a builder developer and owned a construction and development company called Gillis Gilkerson,
Yeah.
which we are the 2nd generation owners of.
I see your signs.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, I'm a son of an educator and an entrepreneur. I am a husband of a great woman named Kim Gillis.
Mm-hmm.
She is a graduate of Salisbury University, works at Greater Salisbury Committee, has also been employed with Becker Morgan. I'm a father of 2 great, very high energy boys, both 6 and 8 years old. They attend Pinehurst Elementary School and are going into 1st and 3rd grade. I'm through and through a local, born and raised, graduated Parkside High School in 2000, spent a brief period of time at college at Hawaii Pacific University.
Oh, okay.
So I was actually watching another episode. You were conducting an interview, and I was thankful to see you wearing a Hawaiian shirt. So I knew I'd be in good company.
I have 2 rules about my Hawaiian shirts. One, you can't have enough of them, and 2, the better shirt is one that can be seen with the naked eye from another planet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So louder the better.
Loud is good.
More loud.
Loud is good.
So listen. I'm local. Born and raised. Operate a 2nd generation construction and development company. We also operate a brokerage, a commercial real estate brokerage company. So I'm in commercial real estate in a geographic area that is the Delmarva Peninsula.
Yeah.
Been doing that for well over 15 years now. So again, I love my community. I had a calling, and I saw an opportunity for our generation, the 40-somethings, to step up, and saw it as our time to lead. And had many conversations with my wife and my business partners and friends, and have dove in to this race, and it's been eye-opening. I self-admittedly did not know as much as I've learned about Wicomico County. I'm learning, honestly. Yeah, so it's been a good journey. I'm looking
You meet
forward
a
to
lot
more.
of people. You have a lot of conversations. I just think that it's interesting when a person comes from a highly successful business background and says, "Okay, I'm going to put myself out there in the public venue, and I'm going to deal with issues related to what I do for a living, not related to what I do for a living, all sorts of different things." Something as obscure maybe as these electric, what do you call them? They're
the scooters.
Yeah, the scooters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what we're going to do about those, because I'm scared to death for these kids. Because they ride them crazy. I saw a bad accident the other day on Parsons Road. 3 of them came around the corner, and they all took a fall. Well, there was a truck headed towards them, and if it had been 2 or 3 seconds later,
Yeah.
there would have been a serious accident.
Well, so I have a background in public service. I was I'm the past president of the Chamber of Commerce, current co-chair, or not, excuse me, not co-chair, but vice chair of the Greater Salisbury Committee.
Yeah.
So your community is something that's very close and near and dear to me. I felt a calling, and I feel like it's our time. Day to day, we solve problems with common sense solutions. So one of the taglines that we have in our office is, let's take a complex problem and find a common sense solution to it. And I saw that lacking inside of our legislation, and
Okay.
inside of our governance. And one of the bullet points that I'll bring up is good governance. We're fortunately inside of Wycomico County government. We have these issues that we can address through common sense solutions. And the challenge has been lately the nitpicking, if you will, and the narrow-mindedness that we've seen on the other side of that table. And I think it starts with aligned vision. I think it starts with good governance. I think again, these are not complex issues that we're solving, but it's a big P, it's big personality, and a small I issue. And so we all know what the issues are, and we can talk through those gladly. But the biggest challenge, in my personal opinion, is one of governance. We have lost market share in Wycomico County. If you look at our neighboring communities, Worcester, Sussex, you look at their budgets, look at their populations. We have lost some ground, and there's a couple key reasons for that we can go through and discuss.
Yeah.
But the answers are through good governance, and I think that's what I bring to the table.
What do you think the reasons for that is?
Sure. It's not just one. Right, so it's a broad it's a broad topic, complicated for sure. But you start with Wycomico County. We had the largest income piggyback tax in the state of Maryland. Worcester County had the lowest income piggyback tax in the state of Maryland. Sussex County has the state of Delaware. They got some great state laws that are in their favor. They also have some wonderful beaches. So we have an environment that we're competing with resort communities.
Right.
So we have to complement ourselves as not only we are part of the resort communities. We're not competing against them. So we are the capital of the Eastern Shore. We are an important aspect associated with this Delmarva community. And we are the cultural hub. We are the economic hub. And again, let's act like it. And let's take that responsibility. Let's take that vision, and let's truly be the capital of the Eastern Shore.
How do you feel about the communication regarding the county council and as it applies to city government and state government?
Sure. So the county council and also the county executive have had this experiment called the new form of government with the county executive form of government. And quite frankly, in the whole test of time, it's still new to us. I mean, I think we're still trying to figure it out of roles and responsibilities. So the position that I'm running for, Wycomico County Council at large, is a governance position. And so we have to have a very symbiotic relationship with our executive. We have to have a shared and aligned vision with where Wycomico County is going. And I think that's up to the citizens of our county for us to figure that out. And it's up to us to make that platform in order to have that discussion. I think that's one of the things that we've missed is, as a county as a whole, we haven't had that conversation. Where do we want to go? Where do we want to be? We have decades ago. I remember under Rick Pollitt's leadership, we had some visioning exercises. I see those coming back. I think that we should go through that exploratory work of where do we want our county to be in 2030, and have that discussion after the election. Let's actually have those deep conversations of where a community wants to go. the relationships that we have with state and local, or excuse me, state and federal, both legislation and executive. Wicomico County is a rural tertiary county. That's what we are. And in the state of Maryland, there are two types of counties. There are counties that utilize state resources, and then there are counties that produce state resources. So, for example, like Montgomery County,
Right.
they're producing more than they actually need from the state. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we as a Wicomico County are producing less than what the state gives us. So we have to be eyes wide open on the fact that the state is a huge partner of ours, and we should respect that partnership, and we should honor that partnership. At the same time, the state should realize that our aspirations are to continue to be a rural county. I mean, we are going to have urban cores within our county, but the majority of our county is still going to remain, and for the foreseeable future, will always remain rural. So it's cooperation. It's symbiotic. It goes back to that good governance conversation that we're having. Let's put everything on the table and be eyes wide open on what our aligned vision should be.
Your vision as it relates to this would be what?
That's a good question. I learned a lesson a few years ago when Chuck White came into the presidency of this Salisbury University, and he struck me as a person that was very. He took his time in making a decision. We have to be deliberate about our decision making. My vision for Wicomico County it should represent a collective vision, and what Chuck did I thought was amazing. For the first 100 days of his presidency, he said, "I'm on a listening tour. I want to know what people at the university, people in the city, people in the county want to see from Salisbury University." He didn't come in with preconceived notions. He listened. And I think that was a great lesson, and it was very responsible of him to do that. So I see that as kind of our first step, is understanding what aligned vision, shared vision we want in Wicomico County. Because the person that lives in Willards is going to have a different vision than the person that lives in Wicomico County, or excuse me, in city of Salisbury. But they are both Wicomico County citizens, and I think those two visions can coalesce. I think they can work collaboratively together, and they can be respectful of each other.
In having this conversation, what role does this highly divided political world we live in, what role does that become?
I hope that for people like myself and others continue to step up and be a part of the solution. National politics, in my humble opinion, as a candidate, don't belong in local races. This race that we're in on a local level is about what we want to see as a county. So the federal issues that enter into the race are, in my humble opinion, not directly relevant to the conversations that we should be having as people that can govern a county.
But highly distracting.
Yeah, very much so.
In trying to turn that around, how is it that your campaign is addressing, let's get down to business, let's look at us, let's not look at this huge, divisive, big picture that, as you just so adroitly put,
Sure,
isn't relevant?
Yeah, well, it is relevant in the fact that it is a conversation that we should be having, but it's on another stage. It's in another platform. And so we have to be eyes wide open that distraction will continue to be there. So if we look at a good example would be the Board of Education, right?
Yep.
So the Board of Education right now has had it has a challenge in front of it, and that challenge is going to be the recruitment and retention of good quality teachers, right?
Yep.
And as complex of a situation as that is, there are some very layman, simple solutions to that, and I think they're laid out, in my opinion, very well in the blueprint. So that is, we have to compensate. We have to ensure that the compensation is not only robust, but it is competitive with neighboring counties. We have to make sure that the work environment is one that's quality as well too. And I believe that after reviewing some of the blueprint information, it's there's a plan in place that we can help implement, both as legislative body and also the Board of Ed body. The challenge is the distractions, right? So the national issues that we see inside the Board of Education are ones that are just that. They're very distracting. So when we talk about banned books and we talk about
Right.
politics that are issues that are not in our county. I mean, you go and try to find some of this information or some of this critical race theory. From what I can gather, it's not in our community.
Nope.
And so it is a good soundbite, but it doesn't help with good governance. And so I think that if we can elect quality, sound people into both the Board of Education and also Wicomico County Council, I think that we'll have a fighting chance to take those issues that are very national and put them aside and have a real discussion about hiring good quality teachers, having competitive salaries, finding career readiness within ways in which people are not only going to go to college, but they're going to graduate high school career ready, maybe joining the military as well. I mean, so those robust partnerships, I think, are ones that we need to be focusing on, not the national rhetoric.
Interesting. Now, here's the hard-hitting gotcha question of the day.
Okay.
What do your boys think about Dad being a candidate?
I think they're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
I mean, so, to a 6 and 8 year old, we've been fortunate enough to put a bunch of signs up in the community.
Yeah.
So I think they have a sense of pride. They're proud of seeing their last name in and around the community. And I'm still trying to figure it out. So let's be very honest about the fact that I don't fully know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm figuring it out as I go as well too. I'm a first-time candidate.
Yeah.
And so bringing them along to certain events, or whether it's Little League, which I'm a coach at Fruitland Little League and a board member at Fruitland Little League. Just the involvement. I think that it's contagious. They see Dad involved in as a coach, or Dad as a representative in the community, and they see me very busy, whether it's at an event or speaking. I'm constantly talking to someone, and they're right by my side.
When you were a young man, what was your opinion of politics and politicians?
I think it's a tough one. It was a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Some are in it for the right reasons. It is truly public service.
Yeah.
If I was doing this for any other reasons, then I shouldn't be doing this. And that's the conclusion I've come to, the very humble conclusion that I am truly doing this for public service. I see where I've been fortunate in my career to have an opportunity to support myself and my family, and also create the free time to allow myself to and my family to support our community. So I would hope that I saw a mixed bag of politicians. I thought doing it for the right reasons, and also I grew up on Shoemaker Pond, I saw Tony Sarbanes was a neighbor of ours. My dad was a big fan of Wayne Gilchrist. Lost his name. Gilchrist.
Yeah, Wayne Gilchrist.
Yeah. So I saw a time where people I didn't really understand what party was. I just saw people doing good work.
Yeah.
And so it was a mixed bag.
Wayne Gilchrist. I used to work for Tom McMillan.
Okay.
And when Wayne took that seat away, it probably was a good thing, because I think Tom was ready to leave, but it happened nonetheless. On a related subject, as new candidates, and especially young people, because there is a movement in this country for younger people, especially ones that have, I would say, technical and historical backgrounds as you do, which is extremely important, as they're entering into the cycle. Trying to get other young people to vote, to door knock, to phone bank, to do all of these, to call 25 people that they know and make sure that they all go out and vote.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a challenge. I see a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm hoping what that translates to is action. And your campaign is addressing this how?
In the month of June, as far as social media goes, we have been focused on strictly get out and vote.
Yep.
Because of the congressional district lawsuit and the pushback of the primary, it's an unusual time. To be perfectly frank.
It's like it wasn't hard enough already, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the folks that the general public that I talk to aren't even aware that early voting is happening.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a great platform to, early voting is July 7th through the 14th. Wicomico County will have 2 early voting polling places, and then the primary is July 19th. So I mean, this is a wonderful opportunity to make sure that we as a community get out and vote on July 19th, or use your early voting opportunity, or heck, just the mail-in ballot, which I have in my house right now, ready to go.
I got mine.
Yeah. So I do believe that it's important, and I believe it's important for us as candidates to do everything we possibly can every time we're having a conversation to know that early voting is happening, and also the primaries on July 19th.
Okay, those of you that are out there listening to this is a message that needs to be repeated over and over and over. There is no point in not voting. There's no point in being willfully blind to your community and how your community can be bettered. You're a vital part of this. On another tangentially related area, the party has been helpful to you in this race. Good, good. I've seen your signs, lots of places. I've seen your digital presence. Are you doing any door to door? Is that
at this time? No.
Yeah.
We are conserving, quite frankly, energy and capacity because as you know, every race is different.
Yep.
We are fortunate in our Democratic primary that I am currently through to the general. So in regards to effort, we really see a spike in effort coming late summer into the fall.
Yep.
And that will really be when the messaging is very relevant. And also we'll have a more narrow field. And I think that's when our efforts should be maximized. I
have the same opinion that you do about the degree to which people are paying attention to this. It's almost as bad as the number of people that are watching the 1/6 committee.
Yeah.
It's low. I mean, they talk about the ratings being good, but in comparison to the population and who should be watching it,
right,
it's just not happening. What would you have to say if you had 30 seconds and you were talking to your voters, to undecided voters, to people who are committed to another candidate? What would you say to them?
Sure.
That's important.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Again, my name is Brad Gillis. I'm running for Wicomico County Council at large. I believe in common sense, simple solutions. I believe in good quality governance. I'm born and raised. I know Wicomico County. I have children. I have 2 boys that are in the public school system. My mother was an educator for 30 years. My dad's an entrepreneur in the community. I am Wicomico County through and through, and would appreciate their vote.
I know that you probably have an opinion about this, but there was a moment in our local governance when some of the members of the county council seemingly were working against the interest of both the council and the county. Tell us what your views on that and your thoughts are.
Sure. I believe that one of the events that you might be referring to is what took place with Larry Dodd and some pickleball courts, and his refusal to accept state dollars on behalf of the Wicomico County Parks and Rec. And so there was a challenge that took place, And that is a great example of what we could have done better as a community,
Right.
as a council. That goes back to what we talked about earlier, and that's the aligned and shared vision of the council. So we're all singing from the same sheet of music, and that we all are understanding of what's important to us, what's important to our community. And so I think that misstep took place. Unfortunately, due to some misaligned interests and unaligned visions. And I think that we can help with creating that aligned vision with Wicomico County. You know, we've recently had a tragic event that took place with now Corporal Hilliard.
Yeah.
And
So sad.
you know, that happened. And so we have to be eyes wide open on, you know, how does that affect our community moving forward, and the accountability of and the investment into our sheriff's department, and all of that's going to come across the table of both the county executive and the county council, and you know, so we have to make sure that as a county council that vision for accountability for criminals on behalf of our law enforcement. We need to have that aligned vision, and in order to hold criminals accountable. I mean, another example was the Horizon tax zone credit that was taking place for a building called the Ross in downtown Salisbury.
Okay.
And the county council took a lot of time to get through that passing of legislation. They saw it as giving away tax dollars, which is in my opinion not the case. Transparency. I am potentially a beneficiary of those tax credits, but it was a rising tide, raises all boats. I think another misaligned vision and opportunity for better governance was what I'll call a debacle that we went through with our choosing of our interim county executive. The clunkiness of that process was one that could have been handled in a much more formal and more cohesive, aligned manner. And I believe that I have the skill sets and ability to handle those types of situations.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate episode. In fact, there have been several, and it does make one wonder, you know, what the backstory is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure we can go into that right now,
Yeah.
but it's a fascinating subject nonetheless. When in that extra 7 minutes each week that you have that are not taken up with campaigning and business, what do you do? What are your hobbies?
Oh, I'm a fitness fanatic. I work out. I go to Pure Family Fitness. I work out 4 to 5 days a week. Coach baseball at Fruitland Little League. We're in the All Stars right now, so we got a couple games in Willards this weekend. What else do I do? Football. We have boys that play football, and at Fruitland Falcons organization. So those are my hobbies. So right now, family is my hobby. If you had to very generalize it. You know, it's interesting you talk about time management too, because
Important.
That's one of the things that I've been trying to figure out as to how to. Okay, let's say I am fortunate to be selected by the voters of Wicomico County in this election. You know, how do I manage that time? And one of the thoughts that's come to my mind is actually office hours. You know, so if we are methodical about planning our days and having, you know, 2 hours a day, 2 days a week throughout the day, where people can come and address issues face to face. I see that as an opportunity for me to have one-on-one time with citizens. And you know, currently right now that's not being done. It's emails, it's correspondence via public comments. So I think that one-on-one time is going to be very important to folks. You know, again, whether you live in the city of Salisbury or Powellville, you're going to have different concerns.
This has been a wonderful time for us to spend together with Brad Gillis, who's running for the county council in the at-large position. If one thing happens as a result of this interview, I hope that those of you out there who were not planning to vote, change your mind and actually do it. It's important. This has been Billy Earl Amos with Eastern Shore Politics. Stay safe. Namaste.